Hi everyone. You may have seen the announcement last week that I'm moving into Innovation Director role at Space, primarily to work on products. So looking to build out a product arm, product library, particularly for the BigCommerce app marketplace. Now, I want to do this as transparently as possible. The idea being every week or so to share, the conversations that we're having internally, the problems we might be facing, the questions that we're looking to answer, just to share the journey. So obviously the first question is, an agency doing product. That's been tried many times before, and a lot of people have failed. So why do we feel like we're any different? So can an agency move into product? Is that possible? Be interested to hear what you think. Obviously, the main thing is that client work is always the priority. Particularly, every agency is a customer service based business. You're a service oriented business, so we want to be providing the most responsive we're going to want to respond to work as quickly as possible. So when priority issues come in, that's what you're going to be working on. When paid work comes in, that's what you're going to be working on, which is one of the biggest challenges with agencies, and many of them having sort of products or things that they're building on the side. How do we actually make that successful? So recognizing that, while there is a path to success here and that others have followed, we're also going in eyes wide open with multiple people within the management team at Space having tried this before and arguably failed. So it is one that we're very, very concerned about, and we've got to, as I say, we're thinking about how to tackle it. I also recognise that the skills required are quite different. Like it can feel like the two businesses are very similar. Like the things we do day to day, we might be building a Shopify app, or we might be building a BigCommerce app for a customer. So is building our own that far detached or that far removed from the day to day work we already do? But there is different skill sets. I mean, particularly like in and around that development work. Development work is easy, so to speak. There's the planning. There's lots of product management decisions that we've never partaked in. Partaked. Wow, is that a word? The research about market research, about what options are available, what are other people doing. Again, we provide a certain level of consultancy and advice to our customers, but most that come to us are more from the obviously the e-commerce merchant side rather than the technology and product side. So certainly in advance of doing development work, the whole research piece and planning piece and prioritization piece is quite new to us. So there's going to be a lot of learning there. Yes, the development, there'll be crossover there, and certainly some form of prioritization, impact mapping, discovery, all that sort of stuff, breaking pieces of work up we're really familiar with. But then even in launching it, sort of marketing a product, the support that you give on an app store is very different to the support that we do. We're very much a relationship based business, which can be one of our sort of go-to-market strategies, building up relationships with other partners to get referrals and things. But we have a small number of customers, and we get to know them really well, and we get to work for a long time with them. The app model doesn't work so much like that. So we are recognizing that there's a lot of crossover, but there's an awful lot for us to learn as well. So that's going to be a challenge. And as I say, there are other people that have succeeded in this. The most obvious ones, if you're kind of in the agency space, the most obvious one is Basecamp or 37 Signals. So initially an agency, almost every agency does, then has struggles with their project management system, so went and built their own. Obviously, Basecamp is an incredibly popular company and leaders in the space. But one of the other ones that comes to mind is, particularly in our space, is .digital or .mailer, or I forget what they were originally called, but they were originally an agency way back when, and then, as I understand it, sort of went into product, went into their email, created their email marketing tool, and it's been many years since. I don't have the history, but obviously they've managed to do that. All credit due to them. But I'm also aware there are probably thousands of agencies that have tried and have failed. So recognizing we may be in the list of thousands, but certainly hoping to kind of go about it a little bit differently. So what are we doing, kind of, as I say, to address this? As I say, going in eyes open. I think one of it is about like degree of separation. So this is very much like an alignment between what the space for the company want to do next, but also what for my personal objective. I've been in the agency space for a long time. It was a sort of personal goal of me to try something new, and products being that new thing, and a new challenge. So there's a degree of separation because I'm pulling back from the service side, not immediately looking to kind of get developers or designers from the service business to work on it. Initially, while my coding skills are a little bit rusty, it's going to be me sort of splitting my time between product development and sales and marketing, and all the other skills in between, all the other tasks in between. So, from a certain portion, we're trying to get around that, and then we're essentially delaying the decision of how do we get the team involved. It might be initially on a consulting basis, and when they've got spare time. But certainly we're aware that we can't very easily say, okay, I want 2 weeks worth of this dev's time. We know that's very difficult to manage. So we're going to be evaluating that, and we may be looking to sort of grow my team as we sort of build up some momentum as well. I'm also really happy, while this is a sort of a personal thing for me, there's a lot of people in the business that are wanting this to be successful. Spent a lot of time with the board talking about it, and they're kind of 100% behind it and feel like this is an exciting time for us for a business for multiple reasons. And we all feel like there's real opportunity here in the BigCommerce space. So certainly a commitment thing. This isn't we have to turn a profit on this in the next 3 months, which is nice. It's good that I'm going to manage to keep my job after that. We appreciate it for the longer term, but we also appreciate there's other benefits to doing this than just revenue in the short term as well. We do hope that it helps our own sort of the service side of the business from a reputation point of view, obviously. Other than that, it's we are going in eyes wide open, as the phrase of this video, where we just want to continuously learning. None of us have done this in this way before, so we're going to take it easy. I always think back to the story of the ceramics class, where kind of a ceramics class was split in two, if I remember correctly, where one group they've all got to make a vase. One group sort of spends all their time and they make one vase, and they try and spend a lot of time planning and kind of reading up and researching this one vase, where the other group is more kind of gets to have fun and makes as many vases as possible without the planning. And it's that group of people that have lots of tries who actually produce the better vase. And so that's kind of the approach I'm going with this. I really don't want to, as many product companies do, sort of go away for 6 months or 12 months and build some grand idea, and then for it just kind of turn up on the scene in a flash and then disappear. As part of the learning experience, I really want to get started just with very, very, very small apps, kind of build up a library of just very small but useful apps on the BigCommerce space, and we'll use that to kind of get exposure to different areas, understand the problem space, spend more time talking with merchants to kind of that may perhaps using those apps to understand some of the bigger issues that they have, and we'll work our way up. But we don't want to bite off more than we can chew. So that's how we think we can do it. I'd love to hear some of your stories about how you've maybe tried and failed or tried and succeeded when building products within your agency. How did that go? What advice would you have for me and for us? Anyway, this was something a little bit new. Thanks very much. Bye.